The idea of a disposable nappy first came about in the early years of the 20th century. It is a terrifying statistic that over 5.6 million disposable nappies are used by Australians each day, and around 800 million disposable nappies end up in Australian landfill annually. Disposable nappies can take around 200 to 500 years for them to break down, and the feces that reach landfill due to these nappies release methane, which is a greenhouse gas that can be seen to be 21 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Disposable nappies are composed of 3 different layers, which include super absorbent intellect mechanisms. These 3 layers are what make up a nappy and are composed of about 40% wood pulp. The first layer of a nappy is known as the outer layer, or top sheet, and is a thin layer made from plastic. The second inner layer is also known as the serge layer, and is made up of plastic that grocery bags are made out of, and contains large channels that flow the urine onto the absorbent core. The absorbent core layer, which is the layer closest to the baby's skin, can hold up to 400 milliliters of urine and last for as long as 10 hours or until the nappy is changed. In undertaking this inquiry, quantitative and qualitative research methods were used. The quantitative means of my inquiry came from the statistical sources that were gathered, which helped formulate the findings of this inquiry, and the qualitative sources used were obtained from academic or government-certified sources like Google Scholar, websites, and journal articles. Key words like disposable nappies and the impact on the Australian environment, what makes a disposable nappy, and cloth nappies versus disposable nappies were used in the search engine to undertake this inquiry. This part of the inquiry was proven to be quite difficult as there were minimal recent or relevant articles that were found, and so information had to be gathered from earlier sources published from 2009 and onwards. However, credible sources were still ascertained and provided relevant information to formulate the inquiry. YouTube was a big help in gathering a visual understanding of the engineers behind disposable nappies. A specific video called The Engineering of a Disposable Diaper was a good source where a step-by-step procedure on what a disposable nappy is made up of was explained in detail. This helped build understanding on exactly what a nappy is made up of and the scientific mechanics that go into it. A report conducted by the University of Queensland was found to be quite a significant resource throughout my inquiry. It provided significant findings of the differences in disposable nappies and cloth nappies. This study was completed by 5 university students researching the life cycle and comparison between disposable nappies and reusable nappies in Australia. It examined cotton growth and the timber used for the wood pulp in disposable nappies through to the manufacturing of these nappies. The study analysed 4 environmental indicators, and these included water resource depletion, non-renewable energy depletion, solid waste and landfill use production. Through the use of this report, it was found that reusable nappies are a more environmentally friendly option. This is because it can be seen that cloth nappies produce less solid waste as feces can be flushed down the toilet, less energy as they can be line dried and do not need as much land area than disposable nappies. This inquiry would be best suited for Year 2 students and connected to the Australian curriculum as it related to science as a human endeavour, use and influence of science. This particular strand resonated with the inquiry as it identifies ideas behind humans managing and protecting resources like reducing waste and caring for water supplies. Use and influence of science shares a strong link between the inquiry as the investigation explored how to reduce the use of disposable nappies and in turn look at a more environmentally friendly alternative so that a change and reduction in waste and landfill can become more prominent. In students gaining a broader understanding and a more practical way of learning how they can reduce waste and limit water usage, they can implement changes in their home as a small project and report back with their class. For example, for 1 whole week, students can take shorter showers between themselves and their families. This will teach them about water usage and ways in which they can reduce how much water their family home uses. This idea will help students learn about protecting resources and ways in which they can do so, whilst making it a fun learning experience.